Hi everyone, I'm Annabelle Conrad and I'm in the English 101 class at Feather River College. My teacher is Dr. Warren, and today I'm going to be presenting my symposium slides on the impact of social media on children. So, starting off, we have our introduction slash key takeaways that I want everyone to take away from this presentation. And we have different elements that I want to discuss regarding negative side effects or emotions that can be caused by social media. And then I want to talk about why these effects are important and why we should raise awareness towards these sort of things. And then thirdly, I want to talk about how to actually have a solution and help kids and teens have a healthy relationship with social media and combat social media addiction. So before we get into anything, I have a short little video that has some good statistics and more of a perspective from parents kind of side of things regarding social media and the dangers that it can bring.
Thank you, Deshara. And hey, parents, raise your hand if you have a hard time putting down these devices. Yeah, social media networks take advantage of our brain's wiring in order to get us online more frequently and to keep us there longer and longer. And those techniques work on our kids as well, though for their brains, these bad habits can be even harder to break.
I think it's something that can feel really scary, overwhelming. What do I do? What do I not do? And feel guilty of like, am I ruining my child by letting them use screens?
Dr. Julie Fratantoni at UT Dallas's Center for Brain Health nails it. That worry from parents about the dangers of screen time, especially social media. In fact, a study by Common Sense Media found overall screen time for teens went up almost 30% from 2015 to 2021. And when it comes to social media, in a Pew Research survey, 36% of teens said they spend too much time on social apps. 54% said it would be hard to give them up.
Is there a new notification? Did I get a new like? Do I have a new friend request? How many views did my video get? That's this repetitive behavior where we're kind of waiting to get that dopamine hit.
Thank you, Deshara.
All right. So the first negative emotion that can be associated with social media, the most strongest, would be depression. And depression really can stem from a lot of things, but with social media, it stems from appeal loss or feeling like you're not good enough compared to other people or things or events that you're seeing on social media. And that can also be worthlessness. And then it can also cause feelings of emptiness because of that worthlessness. Those two really go hand in hand. And then it can lead to dangerous decisions in order to fit in or in order to be better and make yourself more likable. And then it can also cause trouble concentrating because you are so focused with trying to be the best version of yourself on social media that you can lose focus on a lot of the more important things in your life. And then what goes hand in hand with depression is anxiety. And anxiety can really be brought on by doom scrolling, which is where you spend hours and hours scrolling through these different apps and consuming all of this media. And a lot of that media nowadays can be very negative. And there is some propaganda to cause worry in kids and teens because they're so impressionable or they feel like they have the responsibility to take on certain events or things that are going on in today's world. And then anxiety is also a part of anxiety is panic attacks. And these types of things can bring on panic attacks quite easily. And same with depression, it can just cause a lot of negative unrest. So next I want to talk about cyberbullying, which is a negative effect of social media. And cyberbullying is interesting because a lot of the cyberbullying that goes on online is from children bullying other children. It's not from adults causing things, it's actually from the kids themselves, which leads me to think that they are struggling with that self-worth or struggling with finding their place in the world. So they're putting those negative emotions onto other people. And a big outcome of cyberbullying is suicide, unfortunately. A lot of people take those negative comments or negative uh, actions that happen and take it very seriously. And then, other than suicide, there's also just isolation and continuously scrolling because they do not want to socialize or be a part of things because they don't feel worthy enough. And then another effect is predators. And there are a lot of different types of predators, but typically when it comes to kids, it is from teens wanting to feel validated and attractive, and they bring on certain people of any age because they want to get that validation that they've been searching for on social media or seeing what other people on social media are getting validated for. And overall, anything that has to do with predators, it's games with voice chats because that is where there are less guidelines for what people can say, and people can find ways to get around things to be more dangerous. And overall, adults and parents just need to pay more attention to make sure that they understand what their kids are going through and also to be there for them if they are searching for something that they shouldn't be getting from online predators. All right, so now we're getting on to the importance of things. Why should we be bringing awareness to this? Well, children are the next generation in our society. They're going to be taking over any businesses. They're going to be starting to learn about politics. They're going to start learning about how they are going to take over what the previous generation has been doing. So we need to make sure that they are at their utmost highest intelligence and that they feel safe and validated. And also, too much dopamine can result in feeling unfulfilled throughout their lives with everything. So, making sure that they understand serotonin and getting little boosts of dopamine from other parts of their lives, not just long scrolling hours on social media. And increased screen time can affect attention spans. So when kids are scrolling and it gets faster and faster until it's 0.3 second scroll, then when they're trying to read a book or focus in school, it is so much harder for them to actually sit down and commit to a task as soon as they sit down. And then children also need that stimulation for their brain growth from a multitude of activities, whether it's books or movies or shows or interacting with other people. They need a healthy balance of everything, not just one part of their life. So now let's talk about those solutions. What is going to make everything better? What is going to actually help our kids feel that validation? So, number one, we need to make sure that we're setting goals. We got to start with setting time limits or not being on our phone until 10 p.m. at night. We need to set these goals and start off small before getting to larger goals because trying to cut it off immediately is just like any other addiction, unless you're the type of person that can handle that. But mostly with kids, it's that slow start that's going to help them get through that. And then we want to have limits on certain apps. So any apps that we know have the most scrolling features or the ones that are causing the most damage to the kids, for example, Instagram, TikTok, or even Snapchat, whatever they have the most screen time, you want to set that time limit on that app. And then we want to understand and be able to communicate with kids struggling with social media addiction. You don't want to be the person that's cutting them off completely, like I said before, or not letting them talk about why they feel the need for it. And sometimes kids need to be able to communicate certain things so we understand why they are choosing to make certain decisions. And then lastly, it's just a simple tip of not scrolling in the morning or night because that's when your brain is its most vulnerable, and you want to make sure kids do not have a phone right by their bed to help them actually sleep through the night because sleeping is when you do the most growing. So that is what is most important. And then in conclusion, I just want to talk about the negative effects and emotions. There are a lot of different types of negative effects, but they are all easily compatible with my solutions I prescribed. And then also remembering why all this is important. We have to take into consideration how kids can be affected by things, and they are not like parents or older adults or anything. They have younger brains, so they can't handle large amounts of scrolling or large amounts of information that can be very negative. So overall, that was my presentation. Thank you, everyone, so much. I hope you have a wonderful day.